Hello and welcome to Straight Dude Date Night, a show where two straight dudes go on a date and they review it. My name is David Stallings and I'm one of the straight dudes.
I'm Ricky Rivera, the other straight dude.
Today, we got a big surprise. We just had a big old marathon and we brought in the expert today. So I'm gonna just get right to it. You ready for this?
The pro.
The legend. Colton Wood.
Yeah, no, you see, the thing about John Wick is you really got to watch all three movies, and that's how you know that you've seen the movies.
Absolutely.
Whoa!
This is why we need you here.
Yep.
This is why we've brought in the pro.
Happy to be here.
We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Finally.
If you know me, which you don't, maybe you do, you know I don't care about movies at all.
Mm-hmm.
But John Wick, that's a movie. That's a good movie.
Colton, you are known for not ever wanting to go see a movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
And yet you're the one who got me to watch these movies originally.
Yeah.
Which shocked me at the beginning of COVID when it came up and you were like, you haven't seen John Wick? Which,
that's
coming
right.
from you, that's wild.
Yeah, because I watched the first movie on my own.
You watched the first two on your own, I think.
Oh, is that so?
Because you were like house sitting for someone and had nothing else to do.
Correct.
Which is the only way to get you to watch a movie, unless we drag you to it.
Yeah, well,
Apparently.
yeah. Sometimes you drag me to a movie and it works out, though, like Sonic.
Absolutely. It's the best.
That's a good franchise.
You're going to come see Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
That's a whole nother episode. Episode.
Yeah, I'll see the third one with
Absolutely. We're going to see the third one. We'll take you to that. But like, we're gonna do this next week for John Wick 4. Spoiler alert for a podcast.
you guys. Am I there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know. All right.
You're coming to see it?
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
if you want to, you'll be on the podcast again. Because we need the expert.
If you'll have me.
We'll have you for Sonic again, too. I'm going to make sure you sit right next to my son. This little booster seat. As I think the movie comes out like late 2024. He'll probably be old enough.
Yeah, it's December of that year, I think.
I don't know. It might be rated R.
It could be.
That's
With
true.
Shadow,
Yeah.
it's going to be in...
Then again, it's your kid. You can take him.
That's true.
Hey,
Do what you want.
I'll just cover his ears. I'll bring headphones.
Today, if you haven't been able to ascertain it, we just watched all three of the John Wick movies.
Yes.
John Wick Chapter 1. Oh, sorry. There's no subtext on that. John Wick Chapter 2, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum.
Yes.
We've seen all three of them in preparation for John Wick Chapter 4. Why did we do this? Because one of us here did not see them before. Ricky, how do you feel?
It's me. I feel changed. I don't know why I never didn't. Like, I don't know why I didn't watch them before.
It's unreal.
These movies came out in like a phase of my life where I just never went to the movies.
That's a shame.
It was like, what, 2015 is when the first one came out?
I'm pretty sure first one was 2015.
Yeah.
And then it was every 2 years for a while.
I was locked away in the woods at that point of my life.
You were exiled?
Yeah. I was
No context needed.
No context.
I was living in a forest at that point. True story. He was there. Colton was there.
Wait, you were exiled?
Well, no, he
Colton?
wasn't there, but he witnessed me.
I saw you in the forest.
He saw me. I mean, he didn't see me in the forest, but he knows I was there.
That sounds like a scary story.
I watched a handful of movies, bro. Look, when you live in a little small town in the forest, they have
There's a town.
they got one movie theater and it shows no movies. I think I watched like How to Train Your Dragon.
That's a good one.
That might have been it when I was up there. I never went to the movies.
I mean, I also, like, through all of college, I don't think I ever saw anything. I think I saw Moana because a buddy of mine desperately was trying to get me to go see.
I got to take this.
All right. Colton's a big pro. He needs to take this.
Hey, Todd.
Yeah, Colton's he's talking to his mom. Seems as if he forgot his ointment.
Yeah. It's kind of a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're a professional, you got to take these important calls.
Yeah, I'd love to say it's a medical ointment and it's very important, but it's not. It's just a lotion.
It's more of a preparation kind of ointment for later on in life when you do require it medically.
Yeah. Well,
Just to know how to keep ointment with you constantly.
That's what like we thought, but I've seen his mom change the labels. It's just from Bath and Body Works.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's just a lotion, a hand
Just
lotion.
like a good smelling
she just wants
lotion.
her son to have some smooth hands for a future bride to be, but
Is that why a future bride to be? First off, I don't want.
I mean,
I don't
have you
wanna
felt
walk
his
away from
hands?
that. Well, I was gonna say, is that why his hands smell like cinnamon all the time?
Whew. It has to be. I mean,
Every
I haven't
time
seen
he
I
walks
haven't
in the
seen
door.
the scent, but I have seen her change the labels a few times. Now, I have been sworn to secrecy by Colton's mother to not leak this information.
Okay, this won't get out.
So don't let this part get out.
Everyone's on board. We'll keep it a secret.
Yeah, no. Oh, he's crying.
He's crying.
He's crying. Okay, she must be scolding him now. Yep,
Probably.
He is big crying.
Oh.
Ooh.
Did you see that? One of the minions just went over. I think they're trying to console him.
They're consoling him. Yep, there they are. Oh,
Then-
and there's the Batman one lurking.
Yeah.
He is lurking in the corner
Wait,
behind the curtains.
He's in a suit this time, like an actual, like
Yeah, no, he's
a
got-
black like tux suit, like a fancy man suit.
Oh,
Wait, I think is this how they get ready for the banana meter?
wow.
Every
I
time?
didn't know that they had a whole system. I never look
think
over
They
there.
might. We never look at
never
the
looked-
door during.
I never
this.
looked that way. Wow.
That's
Now they've brought him a box of tissue, and there they go. One just hopped on the other one's shoulder, and the third one. Nope, he's not that tall. Only two minions tall.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. They are now wiping the tears away. Yep. Now this one's giving him a kiss on the head.
And now, oh my
Wow.
gosh, that's so sweet. They're crying with him.
Now, oh my god! Now all the minions
They're
are
all crying
What
together.
is Batman minion doing? Why is he still lurking in the corner?
Because dude, I think he's trying to mix. I think he's preparing for like the John Wick
Maybe.
status.
Oh, maybe okay, I see what's happening. So he's John Wick minion, but he still has the Batman mask on. He can't let that go.
He can't.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it's crazy. We've literally never seen anything Batman focused in this podcast.
This makes
but
sense.
He's really taking it upon himself as a persona.
Oh my gosh! Did you see that? One of the minions just pulled out a knife on him.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my! Do we step in?
No,
we don't.
There's
oh my
no way.
god! Oh, they're trying to get him. Oh my god! Colton is
insane.
crying in a corner. John Wick, Batman minion.
Oh my gosh!
He just beat up he's going in on the other minions. You see that?
Bro, I don't feel comfortable living with them if this is how they're going
fighting.
to accelerate.
They are mad brawling.
That's crazy.
He just saved him. Wow. Now he's giving him a tissue. Oh, wow.
Okay. Colton seemed to cheer himself up. He got himself back together and he put... Okay.
Sometimes you just got to teach a guy a lesson, you know? He's looking at you wrong. Got to take care of it.
I mean, that's not what we thought was going on, but if you had to get into a fight somewhere, that makes sense.
Was there a reason you were crying?
What was your reason for crying?
Well, that's part of my special technique. It's like a kung fu type thing, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, no. And then the part where we held each other at the end, that's also part of the kung fu.
Okay. Okay, that works. Okay.
Very good.
Everyone knows you're a
Is this on the podcast?
The bit went on for a while.
Yeah, it did, really.
I think it's still in the podcast.
Okay. Just making sure. Had to take a call.
Yeah, you can call it what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope everything's smell good.
All of this has happened. I have not given the synopsis for this stuff yet.
Nah, go ahead, do the synopsis. You could have done it just then.
I could have. That would have been great vamping, but the thing is, there was some wild stuff going on. We couldn't
keep our
escape
eyes
it.
off of what was happening over there.
Sheesh, you guys just never seen
I
a
feel
real
your-
man do it.
Can I feel your hands?
I don't see a need for that,
Colton,
honestly.
can we feel your hands?
There's no reason for you to do that. It's a big studio. We're sitting in a big round table, so there's no need for you guys to get
I'll
up
come
and
across
film
the
it.
table.
Yeah, we can come over.
That would take literal hours.
Okay. Can we?
It's a very big room we record in.
That's true. We're basically screaming at each other. I have to lower the gain every time I edit this.
Right.
I have every time.
Yeah.
So John Wick.
Yeah, tell us about it.
All right, I'm going to go through the synopsis for these 3 movies real quick, which sounds like an undertaking. It's not. It's very simple, and it's fantastic plot. Guys, everyone out there, if you take anything from this episode, go watch all 3 of these movies.
Yes.
They're all free. We watched them on Peacock. There's like 6 ads.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're very jarring when the ads show up, but it's not that big a deal.
They're relatively short.
They're very short. There's one commercial about repairing the colon lining, which you will remember for the rest of your life.
Yep. It
right.
shows up every time.
This movie is about a man who loves his wife, and his wife passes away. We don't know why. some
Illness.
kind of illness.
Yeah.
First movie, right after the funeral, he gets a delivery. It's a dog that his dead wife sent to him as a way to help him grieve. And what happens next? That same day, goes to the gas station, meets a group of Russians. They like his car. That night, they come to his house, take the car, kill the dog. Mm-hmm. They don't know that was John Wick.
And they don't kill John Wick.
They don't kill John Wick.
Biggest mistake.
Everyone in the world knows about John Wick except these people, apparently. Piss him off. And turns out John Wick is the greatest assassin hitman on Earth. And goes on a quest of vengeance to kill all the people who killed his dog and ruined his life, so he can go home and grieve afterwards. It accelerates significantly to deciding to end this bloodline of people that he used to work for. And then he gets a new dog. That's the end of movie 1. Movie 2, how does the movie 2 start? Oh, goes back home. Now people think, oh, John's back. He's back in the business. A guy, very powerful, Santino, shows up to collect a favor from him. The favor to kill his sister. It doesn't matter why.
Yeah.
There's a whole Illuminati system going on underneath the lore. John Wick is bound to this by honor, goes through the whole process of doing it, which then results in order to cut loose ends, the guy who hired them sends the whole world to kill him for $7 million. That's movie 2.
Right, because how would he look, the brother, if he didn't take vengeance on the person who killed his sister?
Exactly.
Even though he's the one who hired him to do the hit.
Basically, following the honor system, taking the marker, meant he would either die trying to do it or be hunted down afterwards because of the loose end system. That was inevitable, and I think John knew that going into it.
He was dead either way.
By the end of this movie, in a sacred criminal space called the Continental, where no business is allowed to be done, John breaks that rule and still kills Santino, the man who hired them. It's a big cliffhanger. He wants to end the cycle. Kill this man. Movie 3. He's been exiled from the criminal society, and there's now a bigger bounty on him that's gone international, and there's nowhere to hide. Movie 3 slaps. And during this whole process, as he's trying to find a way to get out of this cycle of being hunted down and having to kill a bunch of people, there is an adjudicator from a society called the High Table, which is the Illuminati, who is trying to reestablish order again. Throughout that whole process, John Wick just ends up killing everyone. Him and the Continental team up, and it's such a big cliffhanger we left at with it.
Yep.
Where the Continental betrays him, shoots him, knocks him off the building, and that's the movie.
Yep.
That's
But
wild.
is it?
But is it? Because there's a 4th one, and they confirmed he's alive.
Well, of course. You can't
That's
make
all.
a 4th movie without John Wick.
That's the synopsis. It's wild. I don't want to go too much into it because it's 3 movies, but it is insane how much they pack into all of these. It's so much fun.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fighting. I mean, the story is simple, but the fighting is complex.
Well, I think I like that with all of these movies. It seems like the majority of any kind of story or like getting things started, they really just they put that in the first 10 minutes and then we just run, right? Like first movie, we just deal with that horrible situation of the dog getting killed and the funeral, and then we nonstop afterwards, all fighting, killing all these people, getting vengeance everywhere. It's the best, man.
Well, what I think I liked about like why there's not a whole lot of story is because we've already established that like everybody is a freaking assassin in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Like quite literally everybody is. So how do you have story? Like you can't just show John just like checking into a hotel and like, you know, he's like trying to figure out how to run away. It's like, no, literally everybody is an assassin. There's nowhere to turn. Like just keep the action flowing. There's no need for a storyline. What are we going to do? Find another love interest for John, you know?
No, there's no need for that.
No need. The only reason he's alive is because he wants to maintain the love he has for his wife or something. I don't know. It's kind of weird.
The love. Why does he do that, Colton? Why is he running? Why is he trying to maintain the love?
He wants to stay alive to remember the memories of the life he had with his
I
wife.
guess. I don't know.
That's what he said, right?
I don't
think
know.
so.
He knows he doesn't deserve it, given his past misdeeds. But yeah, man, I'm not sure. I think his wife died a week ago by the end of the third movie, and he spent the whole time killing people. He's confused, you know? He's just trying to figure out what to do next.
Who he is. He is the Wick.
Yeah,
right.
he's not the good guy, you know? This is literally a crime organization.
Yeah.
He's killed how many people? 299 people?
I looked it up. I'm pretty sure through all three movies, he kills a total of 299
Yeah.
people.
No way.
That's just that we've seen.
299?
299.
Just make it 300.
It's not like they're counting. It's not like
Yeah.
they're actually counting during it.
That'd
Yeah.
be pretty cool.
And it could be different.
That would have been really cool to have a little kill meter.
Yeah.
shot the
No.
whole time.
No, because it's not about killing the movies. The action is very good, and the kills are very good.
Yeah.
But there really is a whole universe in John Wick that is uncovered a little by little, like in each movie.
I think that's the beauty of it, really. Like the first movie, we get only a glimpse of it.
Yeah.
It's so small what we see. And you
Yeah.
have questions throughout. You start to see the coins, and then we see the Continental, the Safe Haven Hotel, and we're like, why does this exist? Why is this here?
Yeah.
And a whole society that's built around it, and there's a whole assassin contract system, and why is all of this here? None of that's answered in the first movie because none of it matters. It's all about the vengeance.
Yep.
And everyone
My
knows
wife.
him. Everyone knows him and is asking, "Are you working again? What are you doing?" I think that's the fun thing about this is that they just committed to the world, and then just we're like, well, if this works out and we keep going, we'll elaborate later. That's not the point right now. I think that's so fun. I love that the world that gets uncovered in this in the John Wick universe, even though it's a little ridiculous as it gets larger, with how many assassins there are all throughout New York, and it seems like it's everyone. That's still just so fun to me.
Yep.
Now let me give you a thought here, David.
Give me that thought.
I'm looking at some reviews here of John Wick 3.
Oh, okay.
My Berg gave this movie a 1 out of 10.
No way.
Yeah, so let me give you the other side of what people think of this movie.
Wait, is this a segment?
This is the new segment we have called IMDb Reviews.
Okay,
We'll
great.
come up with a better name.
That's a really smart name.
That's good branding.
How did you come up with that?
Look,
Yeah.
we have the pro here. He greenlit that
Maybe we
name.
call it Hot Takes. How about that?
Hot takes.
Very generic.
What about Hot Cakes? What about
better.
What about Hot Plates?
I
No,
like
not
hot cakes.
More like steaming plates of garbage.
Let's see what the web has to say about this. 1 out of 10 from Myberg. They captioned this totally pointless.
Totally.
A pointless orgy of violence without any plot, any depth in characters, anything at all besides nonstop killing.
This is the third movie?
The third movie, yeah.
Wrong.
What are your thoughts on that?
No. That's incorrect.
First off, I can confirm. We just watched it. There's no orgies in this movie. Okay, I want to put that. Put that rumor to rest.
Strong word to use.
Yeah, there's no orgies. There's number 3 has the most story
Yeah.
of all 3 of these movies. Like because at that point the lore is so established, or they're starting to build up to something so much bigger that they have to actually pause to actually do story. That's the whole point of bringing in the adjudicator character.
Agreed.
That's the whole reason. Saying there's no story, that's ridiculous.
That is kind of a ridiculous claim there. I don't really agree with Myberg. But they left it anyway.
Okay, good. Yeah, they can
left
have
it
that
anyway.
opinion. Put it out
Oh
there.
my, dude, man! Look, yeah, these are way too long.
That's a bad review?
No, this is a good review.
Oh, okay.
These are long, man.
Who is going out there leaving essays on
bro.
on movie reviews?
Multi-essay, like 4-paragraph essays, man, beginning to back. Wow, yeah, what a terrible. I like to look at the bad reviews actually, because every single good review in this movie is the exact same review.
I mean, that's what this episode is about. It's a good review of of the John Wick movie. These are the best action movies out there.
Yeah, let's go look at bad reviews of it because that's way more fun.
Yeah.
Here's a review from John Wick #1, the first one. This is a 1 out of 10 from TMB Rose. Give a gun to the hero, he will kill 1 trillion people. This is what the number they put here, I think. It's a lot of zeros. Here's what they said. If you have played a mobile shooting game where you can shoot as many numbers of people as you can correlate the same with this movie. Everybody around the hero and villains, and they all somehow have guns, but they can't shoot the hero somehow. The hero survives about 10,000 bullets missed target. That's one sentence, one paragraph, space, enter, type next paragraph.
Good.
1 or 2 bullets hits him, but our hero is wearing an armoire, and all the villains are targeting his body only. Our hero targets heads. End sentence, space, enter, another line, another paragraph. I strongly recommend that if you want to see blood, go to this movie, or else don't waste your time and money. What are your thoughts on that review, David? Feels like they kind of just complimented it by insulting it.
Yeah, I feel like that's a compliment through it. I mean, again, it goes to... Talking about everyone has guns, it makes sense now, though, right? That there's so many people in New York that have guns, apparently, with the lore.
That's just America.
That's just America. Everyone in New York. We know for a fact that 90% of the people in New York are all assassins with a gun on them.
You have to.
You have to. Because you might get a text message for a contract.
Exactly.
So, I mean, bro, it's an action movie.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you talking about?
What I would say to that person is, why did you go to a movie? Why did you leave your house? Why didn't you just stay in your house, turn off the lights, and sit in a chair and just think quietly to yourself? Man, it's great how realistic everything is in the world.
Yeah.
Wow, I hope there's no fantasy or any sort of imagination played out today.
Why on earth might I go out and try to have fun?
Yeah.
Try to have a good time.
I went and saw an action movie, and I was just really upset that there was so much action in it.
I wish that during the action movie, my hero, that when everyone else pulled out a gun, they all started aiming for his head. And as soon as they hit his head, the movie ends.
Yes.
So 10 minutes into the film.
The person's going to be very disappointed. You could tell they're no fun to watch any action movie with because, like what action movie is just going to have the villain just have perfect aim every time? Like,
right.
Every movie would be 5 minutes long if everybody in the world had perfect aim. That's what separates the person that we're watching versus these other jabronis.
And they don't have perfect aim. They don't have perfect aim. They miss. They hit his body.
Yeah.
And when they use melee weapons and stuff, they do hit him, and he does get hurt a lot.
Hurt,
dude.
So much
of any action movie. John Wick gets killed in this movie, bro.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Go look at that other person's reviews. No, I'm just kidding.
I have another review here, and I'm not going to tell you what they rated it. I'm going to let you guys guess it by the end.
Oh no.
This is by Meadowbrundo7272. Shout out. Psych. They captioned this, why? Question mark. Here's their paragraph. Why did they ruin this part this much? Oh, this is about John Wick 2, by the way.
Okay.
Why did they ruin this part this much? I watched it 2 hours ago, and I still cannot believe it. Where to start? ... The action scenes are horrible. If you watched it and you are not 8 years old, you will understand what I am talking about. He kills 40 guys and only 2 or 3 of them shot him, and he is running like he is on steroids. The hand-to-hand combat is horrible. I respect Keanu's effort to learn BJJ to come on. There's no periods. I'm trying to do that. But come on. He could have done it better. Finishing his enemies is like on Mortal Kombat. To sum it all up, first part was much, much better. And I, uncapitalized, still don't know, was this a director's joke? What do you think they rated that out of 10?
Director's joke.
1.
I would assume a 1.
They gave that a 7 out of 10. What? Very, very really. Wow, these guys have some standards.
It has a little something for everyone.
All that being said, solid movie.
Yeah, 7 out of 10. Like what? A 7 out of 10 is like a. It's all right. Like I enjoyed watching, but I don't enjoy.
7 out of 10. That's a great movie.
Yeah, that's a C. That's fantastic. But I wonder what that guy's 1 would look like.
Whatever.
Yeah, what a great review. I think that's a good place to end it on. But man, what a solid 7 out of 10 Good job.
Yeah, I
Wow.
mean, I don't know. You
They
can
really messed this whole movie up. I hated it.
7 out of 10. People can have opinions on the gratuitous violence, if that's what you want to call it, right? That's just some people have different views on that.
Yeah.
But as far as like, there's no plot. There's definitely a plot. This is not a horror movie or anything. This is like a serious. There's books, right? Yeah.
There's actual books that all of
And there's an
John Wick
entire
are based
universe if you open your eyes and ears.
on. It's wild to me to hear people think that, because arguably I think that John Wick, even though it's probably like the most intense or like the most gruesome kind of action movie I've seen in a long time, it has the best story to me out of the majority of action movies I've seen in recent years. Because it's like, I don't feel like I've seen like a solely an action movie that had so much world around it with so many different factions and people that you start becoming invested in. Like, it feels so vibrant. Everywhere he goes, you're like, oh, of course, there's a ton of history here. Wow.
True, yeah.
Like, I can't think of another action series that equates to that.
The Sonic the Hedgehog series. but
Okay.
that's another story. There's a lot of story there.
Look,
Yeah.
and they have some great lore to back up off of it that they're going to follow for it.
See, my thing is like, I get it if you're not into the gore and all that.
Yeah.
But why go watch a movie? Like, this was about the second one. Like, why even go
Mm-hmm.
watch? Like, if you know that these series are gory, why keep going to go see them and then complain about how gory they are?
And they're not
Yeah.
gory.
They're really not.
They're not gory.
I think
People
But,
get
like,
shot and people get stabbed. People don't get like disemboweled and
That's the
stuff.
thing, though. Like, you're not just showing up to go see John Wick 4. Like, who's just gonna, like, I would never go see John Wick 4 without seeing the first 3.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the same way when we watched Creed. I was like, Creed 3, like, I feel like it's just weird going into it. That one's
Yeah, it
probably
was
a little bit
wild
easier,
for
but-
me. Yeah.
Yeah, but, like, it's weird, right? Like, you
Mm-hmm.
and you can't really necessarily be like, I didn't really like the boxing stuff. Why
Yeah.
would you complain about that? That's what the movie is.
That's
Like,
what
I
it
wouldn't
is.
go into John Wick and then be like, I didn't really like the action. Like, I thought it was too much. And it's like, well, duh.
Yeah.
John Wick is just fighting. Like, he's just beating dudes up and stabbing them.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Especially with like we're complimenting the story a lot, but also 90% of each film is just straight up chaos.
See, that's what I like.
It's all fighting. And I hope you got to understand, Ricky, from it, of just when Colton had me watch these, bro, we were in the couch over there just screaming the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's so... I love that in each movie they're so creative
Oh,
about
Yeah.
all of the different kills through it. In every movie you're surprised on what different techniques can be brought up, and then still using the same techniques throughout. It's so... Like, the one that gets me every time is when he's, like, grappled with someone and has a knife and ends up getting, like, on top of the person, and they're blocking and pushing back on him, and he has to bring up his other hand and just start slamming it into the knife
Like a
to get
hammer.
it forward.
Yeah, that was
every
awesome.
movie that happens at least once, and every time I'm like, yeah, that's awesome.
Such a smart tactic.
It is. Why have I not seen that as much in previous action movies before? I don't know.
Yeah, to me, the story is a plus to all the action. Like, I enjoyed
yeah.
all the action. I like the fighting and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, having a good story under all that is
Yeah.
it's nice.
Absolutely.
But honestly, I would have been fine without a story. I could have just watched just 2 hours of John Wick just fighting people.
Mm-hmm.
That was fine with me.
That's basically what you get.
Yeah, with a third movie, I feel like that's what I got.
Yeah.
The second movie, the whole first half is all just like setting up the universe, which I think, like, if I watched that movie at the time when it first came out, I'd have been like, hey, you know, it's good. It's not as much action, but now watching it in like a series, I'm like, yeah, that was perfect. They set me up for like 30 minutes of story to set it up. Now I can just watch these freely.
Yeah, I definitely think that the second movie takes the most time before getting into the action focus.
It had to. If you want more movies, it had to have some sort of story. To keep
Absolutely. Because I remember watching it when you and I, Colton, originally watched that. I do remember starting the second one and being like, what is going on? What is happening right now? The whole conversation between John and Santino at the very beginning discussing the marker, which no one in the audience has any idea what that is. You're just like, I have no... Who is this guy? Was he in the first one? Like, there are so many questions that pop up during that entire sequence. But you're right. all of that had to happen if we wanted to continue this watching this series down the road.
Yeah, because they do the same kind of stuff in the third movie, and I feel like I totally understood what was happening.
Yeah.
Like, they bring back the markers and all that, and it's just like, I'm bound to you. And it's like, oh, yeah, this makes sense. She must have needed his help at some point.
Yeah. There's so much history between all these people, but we don't have to explain all of it.
Bro, what about Dog Wick? That dog was awesome. The two dogs.
Bro.
Dog Wick and John
First dog was kind of not so great.
Yeah, the little beagle.
Second dog really earned his weight.
I'm talking the third movie with the two German shepherds.
Halle Berry's.
The attack dog, Halle Berry's dog, but I like to call them Dog Wick.
Dog Wick.
Okay.
Those guys went in.
Yeah.
Those guys were insane.
I think personally, if we have to say something negative about the films, which I think we should, my only gripe, well, maybe a few, but my one biggest gripe is there was too much dogs. The attack dogs. There was like one or two too many scenes where it's just the dogs going after someone.
Yeah.
And yes, that's cool, but it's kind of like there was just a repeat. Like I just saw that exact same 3-second clip,
but now from a different angle.
Yeah, now it's exactly right. So could have done without that. Minor gripe.
I do think because one of the things that's so fun about these movies is the creativity of the action, right? And so with the dogs, when you first introduce them, it's like, wow, okay, that's fun. The only other time during that entire fight that was interesting to me was a creative moment of the dog literally jumping off of its owner's back to climb up a wall and kill a person at the top of the scaffolding.
Yep.
But hype.
I think you're right. I was thinking it while we were watching that one today, that if you had to rank all of the fights, I think that one is the weakest of the entire series because of the dogs.
It has great moments, but...
Nah, dude, it's redemption. The whole John Wick series is based off of them killing a dog. This is the redemption of dogs.
Yes.
Dog Wick.
Sure. I mean,
okay.
I don't think we're saying that they're not cool, Ricky.
They're very cool the first 3 times they did it, and then they did it 2 more times, and I was like, okay, I get it.
I liked it.
Yeah, you liked it?
I liked the dogs.
How many more scenes, different angles of them attacking one guy the exact same way could you have put up with?
How long would you want to watch the dogs attacking and killing people?
Honestly, if John Wick just had one of those dogs at all time, that'd be fine with me. A little just assistant dog that just attacks people with him.
It's not really his thing.
Dual threat. You gonna kill a dog?
He's a one-man army, bro.
Bro, a dog comes running at you, you gonna kill it?
That Halle Berry had that. That's her thing. John Wick is just John Wick.
Now, that's a character I want to know more about too. That was cool.
Halle Berry's character.
You should Google her. She's got a lot of acting credits.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see some story from her. I mean, it's all about John Wick, but like if they ever did spin-offs, I feel like she'd be the first one they'd give it to.
Well, I know they've already announced a spin-off coming out next year, I think. I think it's a TV show. I'm not sure. It's going to be called Ballerina. It's starring someone named she sounds familiar. I don't know what she's in. Ana de Armas, who I thought she might have been a character throughout this movie. I don't think she was. So they have announced spin-offs already.
Isn't that Princess Peach, Ana de Armas?
No, that's Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, so many.
Also, she's the queen from the Queen's Gambit. She's
Blade Runner, and she's in the first Knives Out.
Ana de Armas?
Yes.
Great.
Wow, I know who that is.
Great. I don't recall this person, but I'm hyped for her. I do think with the dogs, one of the things I think is interesting is that in the first movie, the amount of dogs involved, that like the maximum amount of dogs that a person has in the movie is 0. Because the dog is killed at the very beginning, okay? Right? Movie 2 is 1. John has a dog now. He has a pet. It's the whole thing. He has a dog now. Movie 3, we get a character who ups the ante with 2 dogs. I think next movie, someone is going to have 3 dogs. And so on and so forth. And I think all of this series is building up to eventually New York will be taken over by an army of dogs.
Planet of the Dogs. Whoa.
Planet of the Dogs spin-off new series led by John Wick.
Dude, John Wick leading an army of dogs. Now that I could watch.
Think about how painful that would be. They're all hitman dogs. Colt shaking his head very.
Sounds like a furry convention. I don't think we need to see that in the film sphere.
The convention that you attend once a year?
No,
Are you sure?
I can't afford the fursuit for
Can
my
we-
fursona.
Can we feel your hands?
I don't think that's
Okay,
necessary.
Just wanted to double check on that.
That's my foot too.
Very soft.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. It is Ballerina. And
Ballerina.
a little spin-off. It says it's a movie, though. It
Okay.
says it's a movie, but it still has John Wick is casted in it and everything. They've
Strange.
already announced all that. So that'll be
Give
interesting.
me more of them.
Ballerina, which that might just be like origin-esque story, right? Because that's kind of where John Wick came from, is that Ballerina studio.
Yeah, that would make sense.
That could be cool. See a little bit of backstory there. Or maybe he's just... Maybe one of the ballerinas helps him out. I don't know. But I'm honestly, I'm not mad about an expansion of this universe.
Well,
I like it.
One of the things I think is they've helped themselves a lot by not ever explaining is in the first John Wick movie, everyone seems to know that John Wick has retired by completing a, quote, impossible task. That was... No one explains what that task was.
Yeah.
But the task seems to have laid so much groundwork throughout the entire universe of the story that I want to go see. I want to know what that task was, bro.
Well, it's smart. It gives them wiggle room to kind of make it whatever they want now.
Yeah.
They could really just not have a vision for the fourth movie and then just make the third and then be like, all right, what are we going to do with the fourth? Like, you know, like,
Yeah.
it's just like they really did set it up well to just do what they want from here on out. Cause we don't have a backstory necessarily for John Wick.
Yeah.
If anything, the only thing I know is that he retired for 5 years, got married, wife died. Now he's back.
Yeah.
That's truly like the most clarity we have, and of course the impossible job. So really, we're in a weird standpoint of like, where did John Wick come from?
Yeah, we have no idea. We got a glimpse of that by seeing the like Russian ballerina studio, which is a wild, weird faction to show up to. But apparently the lady who runs that is like his adopted mother or something who helped raise and train him. But that's all. That's the only glimpse of his backstory. I love that these movies don't do like flashbacks and stuff too. It's just like, this is the man. This is who he is now. How we got here. This is
I love
probably
it.
a story.
I love it so much.
We don't have to know.
I agree. That's why I like the first movie so much. There's plenty of mystery there. And you know what? Live with it.
Yeah.
This is its own story. You don't need to know every single bit and piece, right?
Yeah.
But as far as John Wick's backstory, he was an orphan, right?
I think that was stated in the third one.
So I think he's just Levi Ackerman.
Levi Ackerman.
Who?
Yeah, who?
Ricky would know.
Oh, is this
Let me
who?
look. No, hold on.
You want to make me say it, really?
Levi Ackerman.
The audience knows.
The audience knows?
Your audience definitely.
Is this a bit with...
Oh, yeah.
What?
Okay, now I understand. You should have
It's
just
the
said
same guy.
Captain Levi. I would have known that.
Ah, fair enough, yeah.
Do I
It's,
have to look this up on my own now?
no,
You guys won't
You're
tell
not going to
me?
get it anyways.
It's an anime joke.
It's a what?
Anime. You ever heard of anime?
What? Anime.
Anime. It's cartoons from
Anima?
No, that's different. You don't want to know what that is.
Anime?
Anima?
Anime?
Anime. No, you don't want to know her.
Basically,
I've never heard of this.
basically, Captain Levi is this dude in the show who was an orphan and for some reason is like just this complete BA killing machine.
He's the John Wick of
He's
the
the John
show.
Wick of the show. So I think
Oh.
it's the same person from the different universes.
Oh, so you think that they got the idea of John Wick from Levi Ackerman, who sent a
No.
letter to the studio?
No, it goes even deeper than that.
It goes deeper
so
than this.
The impossible task was Captain Levi
Okay.
in Attack on Titan, which is not finished yet.
Okay.
So
which unconfirmed. We can say that this is a potential theory because
Yeah.
there's no ending yet.
if you've seen Attack on Titan, you know
Mm-hmm.
that every task in that show is impossible.
Okay.
So Captain Levi does the task, and then he goes and marries Helen
Of course.
in the John Wick movie,
Oh.
and then that picks up from there. So it's kind of like, bah, and then bah.
Ah. Okay. I see.
Yeah, I know you. I can tell you get it.
I understand now. John Wick is from Attack on Titan.
Yes,
He attacked the Titans.
you could say that.
Right.
I mean, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but
I'm right.
you could say that.
I'm 100. I can tell you this. I'm right.
Listen, I don't
This
want
is
to
gonna
spoil
be
the
hard.
show,
Yeah,
but
this is gonna be hard for any non-anime watcher.
Yeah, like me.
But basically, what Cole's trying to say is we're gonna write that in because Attack on Titan will finish the last episode that they have in 3 years. So
Maybe.
we could probably make a couple John Wick movies and write this in before they finish.
look,
their
I'm
show.
just trying to expand your audience here, okay? People like Attack on Titan, right? It's big with the kids these days.
So, do you recommend that in every episode going forward of our podcast that we have a segment about the state of Attack on Titan? Do you think we should have that?
If you can relate it some way, it wouldn't hurt.
Okay.
It'd be good for the numbers, is all I'm trying to say.
Okay.
You brought me in here for a reason.
No, absolutely. This
Right?
is why I asked.
Colton
Okay.
brings the anime crowd.
You're not only the John
Yeah.
Wick pro,
I've
the
seen, like-
legend, the expert. You're also
Yeah.
a consultant.
Yeah, no, I'm an anime expert. I've seen like 3 of them, so
Right.
I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, this is tough. I don't know. I mean, the last consultant we had was the Shrek consultant, and she did really well for us. So
Yeah, well, we made.
we'll see how you do.
She was a boon.
Hey, bet on me, you will not lose, my friend.
Okay. Do I need to watch?
They call him the Blender
I'm sorry.
anytime he's on screen.
What is happening? What on earth did you just say to me?
You heard the man.
What did you just
They
say to
call
me on
him
my
the Blender.
podcast?
You never seen a blender? That's what happens.
Basically,
You ever seen John Wick?
he's just trying
That's
to
what
say
happens.
that these two people are the same character.
I
It's the
get
same.
that. Why is he bringing up a blender?
It's
I
a
don't know
blender.
what part of the blender you're not understanding, David. It's
Yeah.
just a blender.
You plug a blender in.
You plug a blender.
What does
in,
it
you
do?
Make great smoothies. You
Yep.
make good smoothies.
Make
you make a
smoothies.
good. You can make a cream sauce out of it. You can make.
What are you creaming in a blender?
You can cream up in the blender. I don't know. You know.
Hold on. That's a deeper topic. I don't know where the blender came from, but you're making a cream sauce in the blender.
Yeah. Sometimes you make a cream sauce. Sometimes you make an Italian dressing in the blender. You know. You emulsify. You know.
Colton,
Look.
do you back this up?
So one thing that you failed to mention in your synopsis is the Bowery King, right?
Yes.
So the Bowery King,
Lawrence Fishburne from The Matrix.
yes, plays a big role in that when John Wick is down and out after he assassinates one of the high table members from the marker. There's a lot of levels there.
Yep.
After he's down and out, he goes to the Bowery King, who is basically the king of the homeless people in New York. There's this entire organization. It's pretty cool.
It's the lore expands
Yeah,
dramatically.
and he's the king. He has these pigeons. Anyway, he gives John Wick a gun with 7 bullets and says, "Hey, this is the best I can do. You want to go kill this man, Santiago?
Santino D'Antonio.
Yeah, Santino. This is the best I can do for you." And so he does that. In doing so, giving John Wick that gun betrays the high table.
Yeah.
And so, do we do spoilers? Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the third
Spoil
movie,
every freaking movie we see. dude.
obviously, yeah. At the end of the third movie, he's betrayed by his friend, the owner of the New York Continental.
New York Knicks.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Of
Yeah,
the Lincoln
he's-
Continental, his favorite car.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
He's betrayed, thrown off the roof. The Bowery King, king of the homeless, collects him. Having been betrayed by the high table himself, is like, "Hey, John."
King of the homeless.
Yeah, that's what he is.
It's just a great title.
"Hey, John, you angry?" And John's like, "Yeah, I'm angry." So, going into the 4th movie, what do you guys think we're going to see?
Oh my gosh. What on earth are we gonna see?
Because I don't know. And I'm the expert.
That's crazy that you have no idea then,
Yep.
bro. Well, a part of me wonders, did Winston, the owner of the Continental Knicks, was this planned? Do you think this was planned, or did Winston actually betray John?
Yeah.
I think this was planned.
Is that the end of the scheme, or is the scheme still going from Winston?
Right.
Because he lived,
Yeah.
and Winston's like, well, we'll see. But he did seem to give off a vibe of threatened at the end of the movie, right?
Yeah.
So you're unsure. There's that level there.
I feel like he's trying to keep face
Yes.
during it, but there's something about the scene where he actually shoots John and he falls off the roof that there's like, I don't understand how you plan that and you're like, John will survive.
Yeah, that's
John
the
will
thing.
survive. And also the Bowery King, who was cut 7 times by the high table, is probably dead. He'll come by and pick him up.
Right.
That, I was thinking about it on the drive over. I don't know I don't think this was planned. I feel like Winston may have actually betrayed him.
Maybe. It does seem pretty perfect, though, doesn't it? And the fact that the Bowery King and Winston had received essentially the same judgment in, like, that same film. The adjudicator came to them and said, hey, you're out.
Yeah.
Both of them. So they're essentially in the same position.
Yeah.
Maybe there was some communication there, but
That's
you won't find out till
possible,
the 4th movie.
Because I feel like what's crazy is that it took I feel like it's taken 3 movies for the chess pieces to have moved into place. Where I don't feel like we're gonna. The only other society we might learn about in the next movie is actually seeing members of the high table themselves. But at this point, I feel like all of the main factions have been established.
Pretty much, yeah.
So we have all of the players on the field. It's just a matter of figuring out who's on whose team.
Yeah.
You know, do we even know if the Russian lady, who's John Wick's mom, she had a whole fealty thing with the high table as well? Is she on their side too? We have.
She was never on their side, it seemed.
I don't think so, but she did go through the process of actually getting cut as well.
Yeah.
And like, that's the last scene we saw from that lady too.
Yeah.
We get no closure on that.
Yeah.
So,
But she still betrayed them.
right.
Because they up all these... So the high table, you have that at the top, and then underneath there's like 12 or so crime organizations, right?
Yeah.
Like the mafia or the Russian mob, stuff like that. So all these individual mobs uphold their own rules and traditions, kind of in tow with the high table, right?
Yeah.
So that constant struggle is still there.
Yeah.
So I love that.
I do too.
It's beautiful. It's not just, hey, the high table said so. It's, well, we got our family here, and, this is kind of our deal, right? Separate from the high table, even though it's all under the table. It's beside the table,
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I love the universe. How could you say there's no stinking plot in this movie?
Well,
it starts at the end of the... It's crazy.
I think one of the things to love so much about this too is that it feels like it has developed into such a almost like Game of Thrones like concept at this point. We all have
That's bad juju.
That's fingers crossed. It doesn't end the same.
That's
way.
real bad juju.
But in the same vein of different factions and
Yeah.
alliances and everything, like you watch Game of Thrones, it takes 3 seasons before you know what's going on.
Yep.
And then this series, it took 3 movies before we're like, okay, we're going into a big movie now. The name Parabellum for chapter 3, it means prepare for war. It took us 3 movies to be at the point where we're preparing for war.
Right.
John Wick 4 is not the last movie, and no one involved in the writing process has said that they have any intention on ending it.
Right.
So where this story can go is they have so much room to play. They have so much room that they can go forward on. So I think that this next movie is really going to be about factions, about getting the alliances together.
Yeah, where do you guys stand?
Where do I stand?
Not you, everybody.
Okay. I stand here. There's a blender.
You're not standing.
I'm sitting. You're right.
The
you're
blender.
right. Across the room from you.
I can hardly make you out, but I see you over there.
Because I mentioned it at the end too. We don't even know where Cassian is, who is another hitman. That's another ally or
the mute
who might show up, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I love it.
I think it's going to be a lot of factions teaming together to end the high table, led by John Wick
Mm-hmm.
but I think they're gonna bite off more than they can chew, because what happens when there is no order?
It's crime.
You know what I'm saying? I know, but the high table is the only thing, as bad as they are, they're the only things that keep order within the world of criminals. The only thing that separates them from the animals.
Well, in this universe, apparently, there is no government. there are no
government intervention.
Yeah, no, there are no police officers, no federal, institutions coming in to stop these people because they're all in on it, right?
Right.
So, I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? In the fourth movie, maybe the FBI knocks on John Wick's door and is like, hey, I know that, there's been this thing, but a new sheriff's in town. And Byron comes in and cleans it all up.
Hey, we've heard about, look, we understand you guys have been having the most wild battle royale in New York for the past 2
we've been
weeks.
cleaning up the corpses.
We understand that. It's at a point where this is becoming domestic terrorism.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. This is just ridiculous at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I do like, though, that I don't think you've seen Bullet Train, Colton, but these movies are very similar to that, where in Bullet Train we talked about that there is so much ridiculous action and fighting and killing going on all on this one train, and everyone who's not involved, who's just civilian, is kind of like, they're watching and just like, okay, let it happen.
Yeah.
They're not like freaked out. They're just, let's just let it happen. Okay, it'll go that way. I'm not involved. These movies are the same way, where when there are just normal people and they're shooting each other or whatever, if they're shooting, they'll run off.
Yeah.
But if they're like in a knife fight with each other, they're like, okay, if we just walk by, they won't notice us, they won't care.
It's an NPC world.
To be fair, that's just New York. Literally, bro, any video I've seen on a subway at New York, I've never been, is someone's doing crazy, unspeakable acts, and everybody on the subway is just like sitting there like, all right, do not make eye contact. And then when the train stops, they get up and they leave as quickly as possible. That's exactly what happens in this movie.
If I do not acknowledge them, then nothing will happen and they won't be real.
Yeah, because the second you make eye contact with crazy enters your universe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's pretty realistic.
Yeah?
I mean, if they would have had it somewhere else, like somewhere in the middle of Ohio, in a small town, people would be like, oh, well, I never. And then they probably like scoff at it and then sip tea or whatever they do in Ohio.
In Ohio,
The South and the British, all in Ohio. They sip tea and go, oh, I never.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a bit much.
For being Ohio, that's probably not a bad mix. That's probably tame for them.
True.
Let us know how you feel about that, Ohio. Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, any listeners from Ohio.
Leave your reviews on IMDb for these movies, and we'll see
If you're a
them.
listener from Ohio, don't.
If you
I don't
somehow
want an Ohio fan base. Ohio.
if you somehow figured
crazy.
out how to turn on your phone and listen to a podcast,
Oh my god!
and what's more, if you figure out how to leave a review, then feel free.
You know what? That's a good point. If you figured out how to leave a review on our podcast, you leave it. You leave whatever you want there, bud.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not in Ohio.
Yeah, I agree. No, I have nothing against Ohio. I just like to start, on the podcast that I'm not on.
Great, he's starting beef and he's gonna leave.
Exactly. Yeah.
With
funnier.
that, I think we should get the banana meter in here.
Love it.
They had a whole field day already. I think they're oh gosh. All right. Okay.
This is really happening.
This
They're in here, Colton. They're coming to you.
Wow. Okay.
they're just hitting him.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
They're just hitting
Wow.
him.
So they enjoy John Wick. I'm saying.
I don't know what they watched. Honestly.
well,
I don't know
oh,
why
no?
they're just yelling like that.
Well,
It's
one
kinda
of them
weird.
in particular, he's still dressed up with the Batman mask. He's been in it for months.
He's just kind of mad.
There are hundreds in here.
Yeah.
How did they all get in here?
They're
Why?
multiplying.
Oh my God! They're still filing in. Okay. Yeah.
Someone bring the banana meter if you're all
Right.
coming in.
Yeah. Just
One of you
crowd
bring it.
surf it in
That
if you
thing,
can.
John Wick minion is really mad dogging you. Don't turn around.
I'm not.
Don't turn around. He is. Wow. I've never seen him so serious.
I have to live with them, so just if you don't.
Oh,
think
so they do live here.
Yeah, they
Kind
do.
of.
I thought that was a
They're
joke.
in the attic.
Yeah.
Whew, okay. Whew,
So
all right.
just as long
Good
as you don't
installation.
acknowledge him.
Yep. Okay. This is
right.
okay. We're fine. We're
All
fine.
right. Well, the banana meter is here. Who would like to go first? Maybe our expert.
You guys go first. It's your banana meter.
Okay, it's our banana meter.
I don't even know what the scale is. The last time I listened to an episode was a while ago. Because as you know, I don't care about movies.
Right.
I love you guys, but you know.
listen to A Christmas Story, Christmas.
The banana.
Yeah, because you told me to.
The banana meter, in summary, is think of the Minions,
Okay.
the greatest movie of all time,
I'm not going to say otherwise. I feel kind of threatened, but
Without argument.
yeah.
without argument.
They're all staring you down right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
Culture changing, cinema moving,
Unreal.
Cinema. I don't know. It's the
Defined a
peak. It
generation
defined a whole generation
of eating Tide Pods.
It even ended a generation.
Yeah, did it?
It ended a whole generation.
All right.
Anything before, when is the Minions? The first Minions take place in the 60s. Anything before the 60s doesn't exist.
First Minions takes place in the 60s.
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Okay.
We know the Minions well. Okay, think of that as the ultimate movie, and then what's your banana up to it?
My banana?
Everything is in comparison to the Minions movie.
Well, if I...
If you want, just
You had
in
to rate
case, we
all
can
three. I mean,
we can do one so you can see.
Yeah, please.
All right, Ricky.
I'll start it off. Am I
Yeah.
rating this per movie or just as a whole? I feel like just as a whole.
Do the
right?
trilogy.
Do the trilogy. Yeah, we'll be here forever.
Yeah. I thought it was great. I loved John Wick. These movies were hype. I was hyped up watching all the action. The story was a plus. I feel like the first movie was a lot of fun, but I loved the second one way more than I liked the first.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved the third almost just as much as I think I liked the second. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell because I really loved like the action in the third movie. I thought it was so cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I loved the direction we were going with like the second because it sets it all up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was like the second just really set up like, oh no, this goes way deeper than a man whose dog just died.
Yeah.
And then the ending to the second, it was so hype.
Yeah.
Like I never wanted to see. I didn't even want to see the third because I was like, the ending to the second movie is just so hyped up, bro. Like they just had like 50 assassins walking in a park, snapped a finger, they all stopped and looked at him, and then they're like, "We're in control.
Mm-hmm.
This is how much we respect you. You have an hour."
Yeah.
It's awesome. And then the third movie it just picks up and goes, which I loved.
Yeah.
The only thing with the third, why it's like so hard for me to say I liked it more, is the whole thing with like the fighting those guys at the end. I thought it was hilarious that like they had so much respect that they were like, "Oh, this is cool. We're fighting you." But at what like it's kind of like how you guys feel about the dog. I felt that way about those scenes where I was like, "All right, how many times are we gonna give John Wick to get back up? Like, are we just is this just like just let him kill you at this point? It's like your third time letting him get back up. You could have killed him by now."
Mm-hmm.
Could they?
I mean, they literally had like the knife to his face, and then they were, like,
He would have wiggled his way out of it.
they're like, "Get back up, buddy."
He would have been fine.
I don't know. I just feel like for that, I was like, "All right, how many chances are we gonna give John Wick?"
Mm-hmm.
I still loved it. I think the movies. Trying to think of any complaints I have. I mean, it's just the only thing is like
That was kind of a complaint.
Ad breaks.
ad
The ad breaks were
The
annoying.
ad breaks
The
were
worst
pretty
part.
annoying. I did not enjoy the ad breaks, and I don't look forward
Product
to the
placement.
ad breaks in the third movie.
There was a lot of continental product placement. Hotels were big in this movie.
Yep.
No, I mean it was really good. I'm trying to think though, like what I have that I didn't like about it. I mean, it's hard to tell.
You're the only one here who hasn't seen it before, too. So this is like fresh in your mind. Like you've just experienced this for the first time.
Yeah, there's a lot going on, and I feel like tomorrow when I really start thinking about it, I'm gonna like, I don't know, but this is kind of similar to like Cocaine Bear to me and how I feel. With,
This
like,
is a real long-winded.
No, it's like with Cocaine Bear, I felt like it was weird. I felt like it was weird because like you can't say anything bad about the movie because it's not trying to take itself serious. That's how I feel about John Wick. I feel like the movie is not trying to be like game-defining storyline. Like it's a fun, curious story and it's fun action.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to make a good complaint. So I'm gonna give it a 90.
90. That's still huge.
What does this scale go to? 100?
100
Whatever you
banana.
want.
But it's 90 banana. Just so you know.
90
It's
banana.
90
Okay.
banana.
All right, I got you.
Okay. 90 banana.
Okay.
That's a solid rating. That's a really good rating.
I liked it.
I like
thought
that.
They were
I
great.
like that you liked it.
Okay.
I
that
liked
this
it
wasn't a
lot.
waste of 2 days. You want me to go next?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. So I agree with you about Parabellum because I think in terms of for the third movie is arguably the most creative in my opinion for like the action and everything, which is one of the biggest things I love about the series is the creativity in it. I also think it's somewhat the weakest because of at least towards the end when in that same scene, there's the martial arts scenes and everything. There's a couple of them that feel ridiculous.
Yeah.
I feel like they were trying to emphasize the, like, oh, these guys are actually going to be hard to kill. But with everything we've seen about John Wick, especially
John Wick,
when he first enters the room and he literally gets kicked into 6 different glass museum containers. They all crash open. He falls to the ground on each
So
one.
ridiculous.
The guy picks him up, doesn't kill him, and just throws him into the next one. It felt like for some reason they were going for comedy there when it's like, I don't feel like we needed that. Just give me more of the action. That's like my only complaint with these movies is that whole part. And I guess the dog scene a bit more, but I don't think the dog scene is as annoying as that the glass throwing part is to me. Other than that, though, the thing with these movies is they are so ridiculously fun. Every time I've watched them, which I don't know if you guys know this, when I decided I wanted to pursue acting over that summer a couple of years ago, one of the first things I started doing was going to find. I wanted to think about movies that I cared about, and I started rewatching them because I was like, what if I could have everything in my life? What would be like the peak kind of movie I would want to be in? I watched all 3 of the John Wick movies 5 times during that time, and just like, if I could have anything, it would be to be a part of a movie like this.
Yeah.
That's just fun. And there is like a very intense storyline that clearly everyone involved with the movie cared so much about. And every movie, we get to elevate that.
Yes.
I think that's so fun because that makes this movie better than just like 80 seems to be the high point for a movie that's generally just fun, but there's not like something deeper to it. This movie I feel like is elevated because of how much more that's under the surface that gets shown
So
as you go.
entertaining.
It's so interesting. It's so entertaining. So for me, this movie's 100. All of them. They're all fantastic. If I had to rank them, I do think it would go. I do think it would go 2, 1, 3.
2, 1, 3.
Second movie's my favorite. First is the second best, and then 3 is the third for me.
Interesting.
Because the third one is the only one with fight scenes that I'm a little irked by. But that's
I'm a 2, 3, 1 kind of guy.
he's a 2, 3, 1. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
One was good, but
Is this the Enneagram?
you know?
Yes.
What is this?
So yeah, it's 100 for me. These are the best action movies out there. Everyone needs to go see it, and I can't wait for John Wick 4. Colton?
I'm with you there. I consider myself a surrealist, an absurdist in moments like that when he's getting thrown into the display case 6 times and just getting back up, and they do it again.
Yep.
I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
That makes the movie for me, honestly. And it's not everyone's cup of tea, so I get it.
Yeah.
Unless you're in Ohio. And this is your cup of tea.
Because okay.
They all drink tea.
Okay, yeah, I get it. The absurdity of things, I think that just takes it over the top for me, because it lets you know the writers aren't just going for the most gratuitous amount of violence and blood. There's not even that much blood in this movie. I mean, like, there's not long panning shots of blood dripping across the floor and stuff.
There's
It's like
only one fight that I feel like is the most gruesome. Is when he has a shotgun in the hotel.
That's in the third movie.
Yeah.
The third one. That one feels like this is the most blood of the movie.
They
and
do
even
get-
then, it's like brief.
Yeah.
I feel like they get more bloody as it progresses, though. I don't remember that much blood.
Well, they probably just got more VFX
Yeah.
Yeah,
budget.
more money means more.
Definitely.
They can do more.
Yeah. But, yeah, I know. I pretty much agree with you guys' points, except the absurdity factor. I do like that. If I had to rank the movies, since that's what we're doing,
Yeah,
I would...
it's a hard one.
For me, I would probably go 1 and 3 next to each other, and then 2.
2 is your least favorite though.
I don't want to use the word least favorite because it's not accurate. Okay, because if I'm looking at the movies individually, right? 1 is the perfect microcosm, the perfect habitat for John Wick.
Yeah.
Without getting bogged down, for lack of a better term, by the story. It's his revenge narrative, and it wraps up, and then the world opens up. The second and third movie don't work as well on their own. So if I have to separate them like that, like that's just how I'm looking at it. You can rank them based on the universe and everything. That's just how I'm looking at it. Like first and third are pretty close, and then second, that's just my opinion.
Well, we've talked about this before too, of trying to rank movies, to rank movies based on themselves standing on their own versus the universe that they're tied to is a whole different. I mean, we had this whole issue with Creed, but that's a whole different way of ranking them depending on which one you're going with. So I get that. That makes sense.
And it can be tough to rank them regardless, especially if you all love them, which my bananas, 100 bananas.
Of course.
Obviously.
Of course.
A movie, a piece of media does not have to be perfect to receive a perfect score, in my opinion. Okay? Tell me a movie, anything that's perfect, right? That you wouldn't change one single thing about, except for the Minions. Except for the Minions. Guys, except for the Minions. No, listen. All right. Okay. No. No. You don't have to ban me. You don't have to ban me. Oh, wow. They shut up real quick. They're respectful. Yeah. No, they are listening. But no, you guys, I would say 100 bananas. I don't see any reason not to. Just for me, as a non-avid moviegoer, a movie that I'm able to recommend to people that people say, I haven't seen that, and I light up and say, you haven't seen that movie? That's when you know that it's a good movie. Because I don't care about movies.
I think the majority of people are like that too, which is why this series stands out so much.
Is that true? I just see so much movie talk. Maybe that's just because I'm on those circles on Twitter or something.
Truly, I do think that the majority of people do not watch as much as we think they do.
Probably, yeah.
Where like Ricky and I, at least in this past year now, I feel like we see more than majority of my friends have.
No doubt.
Yeah.
We've seen more movies in the past few months than you've ever seen, Colton.
That's probably true.
That is facts.
Yeah, but that's only because I would...
more episodes of this than movies you've seen, for sure.
That is true. But that's only because I would pick like one or two movies as a kid and then watch those habitually. Like I've seen National Treasure like 70 times. I've seen Kicking and Screaming like 70 times.
Yeah. Those are your movies. You love them. You stick with them. I think... This is why we run this podcast too, is that there's too much content out there, and so people only want to actually watch the good stuff. No one knows what the real good stuff is, and so that's why out of nowhere we do a John Wick marathon, even though the last one is nearly 4 years old. Doesn't matter. I don't know of a single action movie that compares to these movies. They're the best out there.
Hey, jerks who haven't seen John Wick out there, what are you doing? Go see John Wick.
It's time.
Yeah.
You've been waiting. The movie's coming out next week. It's time.
100 bananas.
100
or your money back guarantee. 90 to 100 bananas. Money back guarantee.
From you?
What?
Who gives the money back though? Is that you?
This is your guys' podcast. I don't know.
We
can't claim that. No, we're gonna put a big disclaimer.
Disclaimer.
We cannot
bleep it out if you want, but it's not.
Well, we gotta bleep a lot out.
It's on tape.
Bleeping everything out.
It's on the reel.
Thank you so much for listening to Straight Dude Date Night. We do hope you enjoy our little marathon talk. Colton, thank you so much for joining us as a John Wick expert this week. It's a pleasure to have you.
Are you gonna hit record?
Oh, I forgot.
Let's do the podcast now.
Let's do the whole thing again. Shoot.
I'm ready to do the podcast. I'm done talking about John Wick.
All right. Practice session's gone. All right, sweet.
My heart stopped.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thanks for having me. I'll see you next week.
I don't know when we'll ever see you again, Colton,
next week,
but we appreciate all the work you put in.
Yeah.
And
next week.
I really hope we get to see you again soon.
We'll see you next week.
I hope we have you on again. I think the fans, we're going to listen to what they have
probably
to
next
say
week
about you, and if they really
I don't care what they have to say about me.
We'll have you back on at some
I'm on next week. See you guys next week. Yep.
For that, David, I am excited to see you next week for the next movie. Don't know what that'll be.
I couldn't tell you, man. I have no idea.
Colton, I hope you do great in your endeavors.
All right, come on, Minions. We're getting out of here. All right.
No, they ain't leaving with you.
Yep, I'm out.
No way.
Come on, Minions.
They're actually... Some of them are... We're going to my place. He's tearing them apart.
Wow.
He's tearing my beautiful
sweet minions.
apart.
They didn't even say anything. They just left.
They didn't say.
They just didn't say a word. Yeah, I mean, he's their boss now. Kind of nice though.
Yeah.
Feels good.
All right. Well, look us up.
Social media. Should
Doesn't
do date
matter.
night.
Yeah,
just look it
you'll
up.
find
Just
us.
find us. If you use a social media platform, just search our name. And if you don't find us, then we're not on it.
Review us, and that's it.
Bye.